In this episode, we take you from the city of Athens to the island of Hydra. Now, our arrival in Hydra came a little bit early due to the cancellation of the celebrity cruise sailing, which was to sail on February the 16th for 11 days through the Mediterranean. We pivoted to plan B, off to Hydra, and I hope you enjoy my episode from the island and hiking on the island of Hydra. Today, February 16th, 2026, at Piraeus Port here in Athens. And just a slight hiccup with a cruise ship called Celebrity Infinity. We're booked for a cruise. It got canceled. So yes, that can happen. So plan B, we're gonna catch the hydrofoil over to the island of Hydra, and we're gonna stay in Hydra for a couple days, and we'll see how the changes in the plan work out for us here. Well, so far so good. Managed to book this ferry online. It is getting pretty gusty, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed that this sailing is going to go ahead, because they do cancel these sailings, and a couple days ago the sailing was canceled. So if you've got raw accommodation over there, basically you're screwed. You're not getting over. And so keep my fingers crossed and see how this goes. Well, without a doubt, this ship is smaller than the Celebrity Infinity and probably a lot rougher. And keeping my fingers crossed as well, doing a lot of finger crossing today, because I just have not had a lot of good luck here in Greece. Greece hasn't been kind to me yet, so I'm hoping the tides have turned and we'll put all that bad stuff behind us. We're going to sail off into the horizon to better things to come. But let's check out the hydrofoil here, and I'm going to hope for real calm sailing, because just had lunch and this calamari and a bunch of other stuff, and nothing worse than losing your lunch on a boat, honestly. But let's check this boat out. Excuse me. Well, off in the distance, way over there, we're over here, right about over there, that is the cripple. That is the Celebrity Infinity. It is, they gotta change the name from Infinity, because it's a lame duck. That's what we should call it, the Celebrity Lame Duck, because it is a dead duck right now in the water. And here we go, we're gonna have a look at our high-speed hydrofoil there. It is a slick looking machine. Looks fast, looks a little wobbly, and it hasn't even left the marina yet, so let's get on board here now. Right boat? Okay. Okay. Left side. Well, February the 18th, 2026. And currently filming once again on the island of Hydra. And beautiful day today, but I'll tell you, the last couple days, well, they say it's 20% chance of rain. That 20% meant a lot. And the streets were flowing like rivers in places. And today it's such a stark contrast, absolutely spectacular. So we're on this beautiful little coastal walk here on the island. And I think it sort of circumnavigates a good portion of this island. But it's a beautiful walk. Very few people, if any, on this particular walk. And we'll take you along in this little journey today. Oh, it was a beautiful, easy walk along the seaside. And we're going to head back down to Hydra Port. And we're going to take a little different route here as we head back in. But it's a beautiful walk along the sea. If you get that opportunity to come to Hydra, take the walk that goes to the right side of the port. It's really easy walking. It's quite pleasant. thing probably wasn't expecting in coming to Hydra was the size of the hills here, and they're fairly substantial. I mean, they're not your Alps by any means, or the Rockies of North America, but these are some pretty significant climbs here, and pretty much a lot of these hillsides you can walk to the top. There's some great views. So in terms of hiking opportunities, I think there's quite a bit here on Hydra. If you check on the internet, as I did, you'll see that there's lots of walks up here. So probably to do all of them here, you're going to need a week, because you really have to plan around the weather here too. As like I've been saying earlier in the video, we're into February, and there's been a lot of rain, folks. A lot more than I was expecting. And when it does rain, it comes down pretty heavily, and the streets get just swamped with water. And I don't think I'd want to be climbing up top there in a heavy rainstorm. So you have to plan extra time when you're coming to Hydra, or probably any of these islands here, because you just can't know what's coming next. And the other thing you have to be mindful of is the ferry schedule. And while we were lucky enough to get here on the 16th of February, the ferry was closed for 2 days following that. So the 17th and 18th, no sailings whatsoever. So you're on this island whether you want to be or not. If you got here, and if you're trying to get off, well, just too bad. So plan your trip carefully. Leave yourself extra time for these kind of contingencies of rain and bad seas that will limit your access to Hydra and the other islands, and getting off of Hydra and the other islands. If you've got an international flight planned in Athens and it is on a day when the ferries aren't sailing, folks, you ain't making it. You're looking at cancellation insurance or trip interruption insurance or something. So be aware of that when you're planning your trip to the islands here in Greece. Well, even these little horse here, they're smart enough to know to stay away from strangers. He says, I don't recognize that guy. I don't trust that guy. I'm staying away from that guy.